Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Always, man. Great, great, great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing absolutely great, man. We're gonna get right to it as we always do with this information, man. I just want to make sure that one thing we should always do, man, we got to take heed to this information, and that's work on our mental health, man. We got to work on our mental health. There's a lot going on, a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of sensitive stuff, and a lot of trauma, a lot of everything that's going on with our mental health, and we definitely got to work on our mental health. And what people got to understand is when someone is working on their mental health, and then if you're not working on your mental health, and they see that you're acting a certain way, talking a certain way, or being a certain way, they don't want to be around you. You know, you got to be, yeah, they don't want to be around you. When someone is working on
Yeah.
themselves and you're not working on yourself to be better, and you talking about the person or you this or that, whoever it is, you just don't know. You pushing them away even further because emotionally you don't even know how to communicate yet. And that person who you talking about, they're not going back and forth with you. We got to make sure we clear some things up. You got to settle down emotionally and learn how to communicate. And you have to be careful with putting all your information on social media.
It's too late for that, man.
It's too late. It's too late.
I'm being honest, sound funny, but I'm being honest, it's too late.
Okay.
How you saying the things you saying about yourself, man? Keep that. No, that's not for us to know.
And, and, and
Some people need diaries, man. Go back to the diaries. Put a diary in your phone or something. Not tell everybody your business like that, man. Come on, man. What we doing?
absolutely. And you put your information all out on social media, and whether you know it or not, the person that is healing, going through their healing process, it really pushes them further away from you. They don't want to communicate with you because they don't want their information all over social media. So it's a
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of healing. And until we able to see that, like I always tell you, coach, I don't see things getting better no time soon because there's a lot of work. And so today I want to talk to you about what should be Black's first priority. What should be our first priority? What should be our first priority? I just want you to think about that. I'm gonna break this thing down. I'm gonna let you go in and make sure that we break the topic. So when we look at the word should, used to indicate an obligation, duty, or correctness, typically when criticizing someone's action. Should. When we talk about first, we're talking about coming before all others in time or order. And then we talk about priority, the fact or condition of being regarded or treated as most important, as most important. So if I were looking at us as a group of people, and I got some things that I pulled up and I was looking at, if we were coming together as a group of people, some priority things we need to do. First, come together. That's not happening. And then when we start talking about economics empowerment, we need to come together. We need to come together. Systemic inequality. These are some things we need to come together.
Hmm.
If we were talking about affordable housing, and if we were talking about job creation and fair wages, I'm talking about us coming together, putting our priorities together as a people, closing the racial wealth gap. If we could do that, we got a lot of folks of our color now making a lot of money. Education and financial aid, accessibility and affordable health care, food security, voting rights, criminal justice reform, and education reform. If we was coming together as a people and began to prioritize some of these things right here, I can definitely see us moving a little further along. But coach, we won't come together because we have our priorities in other places, in other places. But I would tell you this right here. And these things, as a group of people, we definitely need to prioritize. We won't come together though. But here I go right here at this part. But as a individual, we dealt with the group things. Won't happen no time soon. But as an individual, we have to be very careful of the illusion of success Slow down 1 second. Even though you achieve what you set out to achieve, it doesn't mean that it should be your first priority. We have to be careful of the illusion of success. That's why I say be very careful of that illusion, because you may think that at the time you are going through the process of what you're working on to achieve, you're thinking at the time that is the most important thing, but that's just an illusion. You got to be careful. The job, the house, the cars, the money, your degrees, your education, your family. I want to share something with you. I'm gonna let you go in, coach. And I'll come back and say what I mean. All of that, us coming together as a group to accomplish some certain things. The car, the houses, all the things I just named. All of that, coach. If we don't put things in order, it don't mean nothing. I'm gonna come back and share why I say that. It don't mean nothing. Coach, what you think Blacks should first prioritize in their lives?
When I saw the email, the first thing came to me is self-assessment. And this to piggyback on what we talked about last time when I talked about honesty, being truthful with yourself and all of that.
Mm.
After you done drop that, on top of that, you come with a self-assessment.
Mm.
And I'm talking about you as the individual, your characteristics, where you are in life, you know, your do's and your don'ts. And if you don't have them, you need to put them in place. You know, the the people that you're dealing with, are they elevating you? Or are they keeping you stuck where you are? You know, all that you gotta assess. It's like a business, a company, you know what I mean? Doing an assessment of their workers, the inventory, you know what I mean? Where they can tighten up, you know, where they can cut, trim the fat, so to speak, to be a better, you know, as far as functioning. We need to do that.
Mm.
You know, if you do it as an individual basis, then, you know, consistently, you know, every month, maybe every quarter, whatever you want, you know what I mean? End of the year, what have you. You were keeping tabs of how you're rolling, you know. You talk about economics. You know, if you go and this deal with these folks over here, or you go to this establishment, you spend so much money and you're trying to save. You got to stop going there so much. You know what I mean? You know, if you got a spending habit, if you go into a certain store, you got to buy something. And you got to, you know, develop that discipline. Hey, don't go over there so often, you know. And if you want to roll like that, then the funds are not enough. Got to figure out a way to make more money legally then, legally. You know what I mean? So
I'm with
all
you.
in all, I'm talking about self-assessment. You
Mm.
know, you go on top of that with the honesty, being truthful to yourself, and you put some self-assessment. Come on, man. It's hard for you to lose, man.
Mm.
It's hard for you to lose, you
And,
know.
and let me share something with you, coach. That self-assessment that comes from everything you just said, everything you just said. That's why I'm trying to bring something very simple to us that we're complicating. Self-assessment is everything. And watch where it lies. Watch where it lies from the things that you just said. The decision making comes from the mind.
True,
It come you
true,
listen, that's what I'm
true.
trying to tell us. Everything comes from your mind, your body, or your soul. When you decide that you have to give a self-assessment, that's coming from here. That's your mental.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's your mental. So I'm glad you said what you said. You can't get around the mind, the body, the soul So definitely self-assess, one of your first, if not the first priority as an individual, you should sit down and give yourself a self-assessment where
Okay.
you are, where you are in those areas.
And
First,
grade yourself. Grade yourself too. You know, if you got a low grade, you got to come up. Come on, be honest with yourself, man. Grade yourself, man. Come on, people.
and,
It's
and, and
real, man.
and that's the thing, we're not being honest with ourselves. We're not being honest with ourselves. And so, Coach, that's absolutely it. That's definitely great. We got to do a self-assessment and we got to be honest with ourselves. And a lot of us are caught up in the illusion and we're just enjoying ourselves. We just enjoying life, just doing drugs, excessively, excessive alcohol drinking. Uh,
Let me just say this, man. I don't
say
think a
it.
lot of people enjoying themselves, man.
Mm,
You keep saying that word illusion. They're not enjoying themselves, man. They're going through their emotion,
mm,
you know, because it's so easy to do what they're doing. It's hard for them to, differentiate, move away from that in order to be better. You know, it's easier to go this far. I really think, man, like you sit down certain places and you hear certain, not that you ear hustling, but you hear certain conversations like, what?
yeah,
Damn, okay. But you the mother. How you let your daughter treat you like that? And she, yeah. I mean, you just certain things you hear, you're like, what?
yeah,
People going through this?
yeah,
I'm telling you, man.
yeah.
I'm telling, but go ahead, go
No, no,
ahead.
no, 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 no. That's good, and that's right. And a lot of us, man, we think that that is okay. Like you just said, here it is. How are you the parent and you let your child be very disrespectful to you?
Man, babe, I'm talking about knuckle up. I'm telling mama to run it back. I couldn't even move my head.
Wow,
Like, what? How
wow.
you knuckle up with your mama and then tell your mama to run it back?
Mm.
And ain't no blood spill. Are you serious? Man, but hey man, go ahead, man. Go
No,
ahead.
that's good. And we definitely, with me working with children every day, a lot of the so-called parents, why we did a video back a while ago, that parents don't know how to nurture their children. They don't know how to raise them a lot of times. And if it ain't you, then it ain't you. But I'm telling you, in a lot of cases that I've dealt with personally from my experience, a lot of so-called parents are just parents because a woman and a man have come together to bring an
Yeah,
offspring
child. Yeah.
together, but they don't know, and they don't know how to nurture that child up. And a lot of times that parent has went through so much trauma that they haven't healed from,
Yeah.
and it just continued to go on and on. So now that child is experiencing things that that parent been through or that grandparent been through, and it just, that cycle just continues. And once again, that's our mental state. That's our mental
Man.
state. Yeah, you can't get around it. We are hurting mentally, and every time we do a video for as talking about the state of the mind, YouTube is not going to move it, and we're not going to move it as a people. We won't even share it. If you notice, I
Yeah,
don't even
I know.
I don't ask us
Because
to
it hits home.
subscribe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Because
I'm,
it
I'm
hits
just
home. It hits home, man.
mm,
It hits home. Yeah. It hits
it's
home, rub folks the wrong way. That's what it is. Yeah, I know.
yeah, it's hard for them to hear it. Yeah, it's hard for them to hear it, and so that's why I've stopped even saying subscribe, like, and share. They're not doing it because once they hear what we talking about, and like you said, it hits home. They gone. Yeah, it hits home, but we got to keep putting that information out. And like I said, a lot of us just going on with our day-to-day lives, thinking everything is okay. Thinking everything is okay and not doing that self-assessment and just literally self-destructing.
I gotta come out of this,
Take
man.
come out of Yeah, and we're just literally self-destructing because we haven't prioritized the things that should come first in our life. And I'm going to tell you right now, the first thing you should prioritize, and you can't even say, well, you can say it all you want to, but I can bag it up. Well, you don't tell me this, us. You don't tell me that. You don't tell me. But whenever someone states something to you or give you information where they can bag it up with proof and evidence, and you continue to do the way you wanted to do it, if you're not doing it that way, they call that a lack of common sense. They call that a lack of common sense. So I'm gonna share some things with you. One of the first things, the first thing, I'm gonna go ahead on and be bold. The first thing Blacks should prioritize first in their lives, and that's our health. That's our health. Period. Period. But you got to look at that self-assessment.
Yeah, that's it.
That's when you
That's
look
it.
at that's the self-assessment, just another word called, but that when you look at that's sitting down, looking in the three areas, your mind, your body, and your soul. And if you are taking care of yourself physically or not. Here come to being truthful and being honest with yourself, finally looking at it. You know, if in the last 5 or 10 years things are getting worse for you mentally, your life, you're making bad decisions. You know, that you need to live by standards and have do's and don'ts and stand on principles with discipline and self-control. You know, it go right back to that self-assessment. We all as individuals have to sit down and be able to give ourselves that self-assessment. That's why I spoke last week about having a mentor. We all need a mentor or something that gives good advice for us to take heed to. We all need it. We all need to be hearing some positive. We all need to accept something is wrong. Did the video a couple of weeks ago where there are over 200 different mental disorders. Well, we all dealing with something that we have to work on. No one has it all together. It's something that we all need to be working on. Our health. And I ask you this right here. Are you working on your fitness? I'm just asking. Are you working on your fitness? Are you sitting there right now, if you hear me, overweight or obese, and you're not doing nothing about it? Have you
Holiday
changed?
time.
Have you changed your eating? We've been talking about this for a while. Have you changed your eating? Here comes the self-assessment. Yeah. Are you sitting there right now? Are you still mad with somebody from long time ago? Or are you still something in your subconscious mind that's been bothering you? You got trauma back then or right now? Or were you just mad and you're not able to communicate if the person is still living? Issues. Got issues. And like I said earlier, you have to understand when people are in a healing process and you're not healing, they don't want to be bothered with your mess. You got to be willing to heal and be willing to communicate. We're gonna have to do a video on that because that's definitely one of the biggest problems that we're having. We don't know how to communicate. That's relationship, family, at the job. A lot of times you get people at work come to work with their personal issues. Yeah, that's why a lot of times, sometimes you don't want certain people to be your supervisor or your boss, especially when they have a lot of issues and things going on at the house. Are they dealing with a lot of personal issues or a lot of trauma? You don't want that him or her to be your supervisor or your boss because you getting ready to catch hell for the next 8 to 12 hours every day because they got to get it out on somebody. They got to get it out on somebody. And if their home life is not good, you can ready to pay a price. Yeah, you can ready. Yeah.
They're trying to crack their whip at work because they can't do it at home. I'm talking about experience, what I
Okay.
experienced.
Okay.
So I'm just talking about real. Yeah.
That's a fact. When you have, especially a man, let's do a man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially a man, when he has no control at his own home. And let me tell you something, when he get to work and they can give him a position and now he's able to, oh my God.
Yeah.
So we got to get it together, family. We got to understand that our mental health, our physical health, and our spiritual health should be our first priority. And as Coach stated earlier, when the last time have you sit down by yourself, first, just by yourself, with no drinking, no smoking,
No smoking.
yeah, yeah, no drugs,
Yeah.
just by yourself, just with a clear head. When the last time you sit down with a clear head and said, are they right? Because if I don't take care of myself physically, I can be causing an early death to myself. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about your mental state? How are you going to elevate in life and get with someone else who's moving up, who's elevating in life with that mess? It won't happen because the person who's elevating, they don't have time for it. And a lot of times when we going through certain things in life, we could be very selfish because we think we the only one going through it. Other people are going through things, and who's trying to
Yeah.
heal is trying to heal coming out of something. So they can't let you keep bringing them back to it just because
Mm.
you want to just stay in the mud. No, you got to be willing to change. Then people will accept you better, the ones who's maturing. That's why a lot of times you do well with someone in the mud with you. Y'all just wallop in the mud together.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they just wallop in the mud together. And that's what I was saying earlier, where some people will curse the family out, talk about the family. Well, what if the family just don't want to deal with your mess? You can't get mad at the family. And then you want to say your friends are more of this and more of that. Well, you just may be hanging out with people on a lower level.
On your level. Yeah.
See, they never
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you want something don't mean it's gonna happen the way you want it to happen. And we've been hard. We got many videos out. We talk about how people are always talking about the family this, the family that, the family this. No, here we go. What about doing an assessment on yourself instead of trying to do an assessment on the family?
Got a family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. See, we don't want to. Yeah, see,
Tell
we
you.
don't. See, we don't want to be responsible and to be accountable for ourselves. We want to act the way we want to act, say what we want to say. We want to be very destructive, and we want to get mad when somebody don't want to deal with that behavior. So the self-assessment, you have to sit down and give yourself. I love that. That's self-assessment. And all you have to do is keep it within those three areas and see where you are. See, are you taking care? Because one thing a lot of us don't understand is when you begin to take care of yourself physically, you working from a mental state and you
Important.
working from a spiritual state. See, now you got them
Yeah.
working together. And when you begin to do that, it's certain things that begin to happen to your body, through your body, that puts your mind in a better mind state. We're uneducated on it.
Then your observation is different too. You start noticing things like, man, I didn't. Yeah, yeah, and your craving is for things that to elevate you. Your craving is not for the BS. Man, it's a whole shift, man. It's a whole shift.
And if you notice, all you got to do is be observant. Be observant. And people who take care of themselves physically, it ain't that they better, they this, they did. No, no, ain't nobody talk about nobody being better because everyone have their flaws that they have to work on. Everyone have them that they
So,
have to work on. You understand? But for that person that's working on themselves, at least they got those two things clicking. That's a great start. Because in order for you to take care of yourself physically, whether you know it or not, that's your mental state and your spiritual state working together. So at least you got a great start. Now, what you have to do, if you got yourself and you're working on yourself physically and you got some good eating, you're working on changing your diet, now your assessment will move to the next level. And here with the mindset is, what about my decision making? Because you can be going to the gym every day and taking care of yourself. That could come easy to you, and you still can be a bad decision maker. So
Yeah.
just because you may be physically fit and making good decisions with your health, it still doesn't mean that you're making good decisions in life with life choices. And that's just like you got athletes who take care of their bodies and this and that, and they
Yeah.
make some of the worst decisions.
Financially unfit, but they're physically fit. Mm-hmm.
So you can't,
Yeah.
yeah, just because you got it going on in one area, you have to work to put all three areas together. You have to learn how to balance your life off where mentally, spiritually, and physically, you're working on being balanced. You don't want one to be so high. You don't want to be so high physically where all you doing it to you, it can got to your head where you so arrogant because see, you could take care of yourself to the point where you could become arrogant. No, you don't want to be there. You got to bring that down. Bring that down. You could be making some of the worst decisions. Yeah, you could be needing for your spiritual connection to be hooked into other areas of your life where you know, here it goes right here. Coach said it a little earlier. You looking good, you coming out the gym, being vain is your motive. And you could be doing it with the wrong motive where you need to be working on some integrity. You have no integrity. You look good, but you have no integrity. You have no character. So those are things that you have to work. So you have to work on balancing out just one thing. It does no good. It's just like uh going to be, I tell my kids all the time, listen, either you're gonna be 50-50, education, common sense, 50-50. If it's not 50-50 and the scale began to move, I want you to make sure that when it go to 60-40, common sense is higher than book sense. Even if it go to 70-30, I want common sense because you can have more degrees than a thermometer have on it. Got all that book sense. But if you're not taking care of yourself physically and you continue to make bad decisions, when I said earlier, you can have all of this. You can go buy the houses, you can go buy the car, you go, it means nothing until you learn how to prioritize your health and balance those three areas out. It means nothing. I hope family getting this information tonight. Coach, you got anything else you want to share with them? I hope they getting this
Yeah,
information
man.
tonight.
As I sit there and I'm listening to you, and even in my spare time, I go and just run, certain pieces we've done before. Look at a snippet here and there. All we doing, man, is planting seeds, man. And if the ground is fertile out there, it's gonna grow. Now you got to decide. You know, you got to decide. Do you want to reap? You know, from what we're planting. How is it hurting you? How is it hurting you? What are we telling you? How is it hurting you? It might hurt your ego, your feelings, but really and truly, how is it hurting you? Your life. We need to stop playing, man. We need to stop playing,
And
you know.
it's
But
so
yeah.
it is so simple, Coach. Just like you said, everything we're saying to do, it won't do nothing but better your life. It won't do nothing. If I'm sitting here telling you to begin to exercise, take care of yourself, work on changing what you put in your body, how can you tell me that's wrong? What's wrong? How can you tell me? And then if you say, well, you don't tell me what to do, who are you to say, well, statistics show that if you don't do it, then you're causing yourself a early death. And then all we have to do without even looking at statistics, look around in your family. You ain't got to look outside. Just look inside your family. And as mom and daddy, grandmama and granddaddy, as they have gotten older, just observe the ones who physical fitness and not a clean diet was not part of their life, and see how they're living as they get
Yeah.
older.
Quality of life, man. Quality of life. At the end of the day, quality of life. So,
How you got to do it? You don't
mm,
have to worry about what me and Coach saying. Just be observant. Look at your family. Don't worry about looking outside. Because if you look around, you're gonna definitely see it. Them numbers are stacking up for as people of color being unhealthy physically. But I'm just saying, just look at your family on the most part, and just look at as our family has gotten older. Look at the condition they're in. Now, what makes you think that you can live the same way they live and your life gonna come out better? No, you're looking for the same fate.
hey,
You're looking for the same fate. Look at the decisions a lot of our parents and grandparents and older people that look at the decisions that they made. Keep making them same decisions. There must be a change. And you got to understand we're in different times, but you got to have standards. The alcohol, look how the alcohol can tore us down. Look at how the drugs can tore us down. Look at how you tearing yourself down. One of the hardest things I know you can do is look in that mirror and tell that person you're looking at, it's time to change. God, it's time to change, family. When you're dealing with your mind, your body, and your soul, if you need help, please get help. Please get help. We need to come together and talk about it. And I had thought about on Monday nights at nine
yeah, I
o'clock.
remember you saying something
I
about
had
it.
I
Yeah.
had thought about coming in, man, putting it out there, opening up a show. Let's just come on and talk about it. And I still may do it starting the first of the year. I still may do it.
Okay.
Monday nights, 9 o'clock. Let's just see who chime in. I put the link out. We'll come on and let's just talk about it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead on and do it. I think the
Do
first,
that.
I think I'll do it. And we'll see how many people come in.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how many people come in. Let's just see about talking about the mind, the body, and the soul. We'll see who want to be better, who want to do better. Then at least you can come in now if you want to take care of yourself physically, especially now that you're getting older. I know you're dealing with some health issues. I see it. Oh, it's coming. So what if we can come together and begin to talk about this what we need to do on these days and that day and have someone that'll hold you accountable. Did you get your walking in, or did you get this in, or did you get a
Mm.
support group?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna kick it off. I'm first the first week, that first Monday, first of the year, 9 o'clock. I'm gonna kick that off, coach. And I'm gonna see how many folks want to come in. We'll do it Monday nights, like I said, 9 o'clock. Give everybody time to get off, come in that night. And I'll put the link out. We'll come on, we'll see who all show up. And let's talk about, dude, you want somebody to hold you accountable because one of the reasons you're not getting that done, you're not holding yourself accountable.
Mm.
So what if we come together and be like, okay, did everybody get it in today? All right, we'll come back next week. So during the course of this week, this is what you need to be doing. And we'll see. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea because we use that as motivation to go to a whole nother level. So yeah,
we'll
yeah,
give it a shot. We'll get it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to do it. So we'll give it a shot. At first I had said, you know what, man, we ain't gonna do nothing. Like we ain't gonna do nothing. So at least let me do it. So when
Show and
it
prove.
show improve.
Show and prove.
And you know what I'm hoping, coach? I'm hoping they prove me wrong. It's sometimes I don't
Yeah,
mind being proved
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping that the people will come
Show and
in,
prove.
let's
Yeah.
chop it up, and let's be
Mm.
more accountable. Do your self-assessment and say, you know what? I need to get it together. And all they simply saying is me, myself, as an individual, work on my mind, my body, and my soul. Take care of myself physically, change what I'm eating, work on my mental state, heal from what I'm dealing with. If I need to talk to, if you need to talk to someone at another level, I got connections all over the place when it comes to these three areas. If I see where you need to go and get some help in a higher place, believe me, they're out there, help is out there. And we talking about the spiritual. We ain't talking about no religion. Your belief is your belief. Just like Malcolm X said, when we click in, just leave your belief outside the door. We coming in and we working on standards and principles when we talk about that which
Yeah.
dwells within us. That's what we talking about. I don't care what your religion is. That's your personal business. When we come in and we talking about the spirit, we're going to be focused on standards, do's and don'ts, and principles. That's where we coming from. That's where the success come from. It don't come from a religion. Those are facts. So, Coach, I'm gonna start it up, and we'll see what it look like when that time come in the next week or so. And on Monday nights, if you're available, nine
Hey,
o'clock,
man, no doubt. I gotta log in. I gotta
I
log
got you.
in. Like I said, man,
Absolutely.
no
So I'm
problem
I'm
with
gonna
that,
find a
man.
way. I'm gonna get that number out. And Monday nights at 9 o'clock, we're gonna zoom it up and we're gonna see who all pop in, who all want to chop it up. We're gonna do that the first Monday. And I look at a calendar. We're gonna kick the year off with it, and we're gonna go we'll see. I leave it at that.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
done. So
I roll with that, man.
my first thing from having this conversation today, what should be Black's first priority, and that's our health, and that's dealing with our mental, physical, and spiritual. That made me go ahead on right then and say, you know what? I'm gonna do this the first of the year because I got some other things I'm kicking off the first of the year. So why not kick this off as well on Monday nights, bringing us in? Let's chop it up. Got it. Got it. So, Coach, I'm done. I'm done. What it is? 2 minutes left. I'm done.
I I'm a firm believer that we can be a whole lot more better than we think we really can. We can supersede even our imagination when it comes to how great we can be. You know, we gotta need to try to prove ourselves wrong, man. You know what I mean? We're greater than we think we can be. And it starts with you. It starts with you. You know what I mean? Your mind, you know. Like I said before, all we doing is dropping seeds, man. You know, and the success, the payoff is some of us doing better. That's it. You know, that'd be a great thing. You know what I mean? We know we're about to close out this year, got a new year coming. Hopefully some mindset will shift, you know, and we can see people, tapping in and coming on board, man, trying to be better. But all I can do is hope. But I know what I'm doing. And
Absolutely.
like I say, every chance I get with a little auto motivation, I'm gonna grab it, man, and keep rolling. So if y'all don't do it, that's okay.
All right. I'm gonna take that right there, Coach, and I'm gonna run, and we'll make it happen. Take care of
All right,
yourself
man.
until we
Peace
come
out.
back. No doubt.
All right, peace.